What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my video. So today I'm going to be working on my Cummins a little bit, trying to get to the bottom of a problem that I had for a little bit now with this truck since I got it. So when I picked the truck up, I'll pop the hood and show you guys a little bit what I'm talking about. So when I picked this truck up, for whatever reason on the dash, it said check gauges and the battery voltage is reading at like 10 volts. So basically it's not charging. Now the previous owner, due to some electrical issues, he put a new ECM in this truck who was having some type of problem. So I know that the voltage on the Cummins is regulated within the ECM. And so I can kind of rule that out, that within the last 8 months this truck had a new ECM put in it. It also had 2 new batteries and a new alternator put in there. So I'm leading to believe that it is some type of connection issue with the crossover cable. When I first brought the truck, I cleaned the crossover cable and it was working just fine. So that's kind of what leads me to believe that's an electrical issue. Now I went online and ran in some forums that some people are having a similar issue, the exact same issue as I am. So what I'm going to be doing today is, taking these cables off, cleaning them up a little bit. I do have to order 2 negative cables because, as you can see, they should not be this loose. This is fully tight. I can kind of just pull it off just like that. So that could also be part of my problem, but as you can see, everything's kind of a little bit corroded. So what we'll be doing today is diving into this, kind of cleaning everything up and see if this will resolve my issue of charging, so I can drive the truck and not have to worry about my batteries dying wherever I try to get back in the truck and it won't start. I believe it's running off the alternator 100% because if the batteries go stone, then you turn the truck off, it won't turn back on. So that's what leads me to believe that the alternator and all that stuff is good on it. So without further ado, I'm gonna start the truck up, show you guys the message I'm having on the dash in case someone else is running into this similar problem, and hopefully what I do today fixes all my issues with this thing so I can run it for a little bit, enjoy it, and start doing some mods to it, because if it's not charging, you can't drive it. So let's dive into this. I'll start it up real quick and show you guys what I'm talking about. I'll let the grid heater cycle real quick. These take forever to cycle the grid heater, so here we go. So as you can see on the dash, it's reading about, I don't know, 10 to 12 volts. It's not charging, and there it is, the check gauge is light. So basically it kind of just stays right there. If it's not fully charged, it dives back down a little bit, but with these Cummins, that should be fluctuating a lot. I can hear the grid heater kicking on and off. So let's go ahead and start cleaning these cables to see, if whether or not that's gonna fix my problem or not. So I just wanted to take a light real quick and show you guys kind of how corroded these connections are. So I'm gonna go ahead right now, disconnect the positive cable, get everything kind of cleaned up on the crossover cable, and take my Dremel with a little sand bit, sand it all down. You can kind of see all the corrosion around there, and basically I'm gonna have to order 2 new negatives. I just want to clean everything up for the time being, but as you can see, this is fully tight. It's not working at all, so that could be my problem, but I'm not 100% sure. I feel like it's got to be something more than this because it is connecting, so it should be charging. So we'll go ahead here now, kind of clean this up, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got the crossover table disconnected, and as I thought, as you can see, just the amount of corrosion on here. So I'm going to go ahead real quick, take my little Dremel with a sander bit, and go ahead and kind of just sand this up, really get some metal showing, clean it off. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull the positive off and get that cleaned up. It looks super gummy. At some point, I'm going to go ahead and replace these connections, but this is just kind of just for the time being so I can drive the truck and have it charge and kind of just do what it's supposed to do. So let's go ahead and get this sanded up a little bit. I got this little wire wheel here on my Dremel, so I spent about 20 minutes on the driver's side, again, all the connections cleaned up. So much junk on there. As you guys can see, this is perfectly clean now. No more corrosion on both sides. It looks brand new again. So I'm going to go ahead here, work on the negative a little bit, get all this hooked back up and tight, move over to the passenger side, clean everything up over there. Then we'll go ahead, start the truck up, and see if it was something that simple. If not, I'm going to have to dive into all the grounds and stuff like that and see, how involved this is going to be. I was looking for the short-term solution, easy fix. You always start with the easiest thing, so I'm going to go ahead here now, keep going along with this, and like I said, move on to the driver's side, or passenger side. So for now, I just went ahead and got the crossover cable cleaned up. As you can kind of see down in there, how all corroded. Let me try to get some of the stuff out of the way so you guys can see down in here how corroded all this crap is. So might start down here next if this doesn't fix it, but I got everything hooked backed up. I definitely got to get 2 negative cables ordered, but I'm going to start the truck up real quick and see if that did anything. You know, start with a little bit of something first, with something easy. This crossover cable is really corroded, so I'm curious if this was the problem. So let's start it up and see if that did anything. All right, so let's give this a try. I'm going to be honestly really surprised if this works because nothing's ever this easy for me. It always ends up being a bigger project, but like I said, I kind of read on the forums that it's got to be the crossover cable, so I was kind of really hoping it is. Yep, there we go. Back up to 14 volts. I thought for a second there when it wasn't going up that it was just going to stay there. That's where we were staying before, but there's what I was talking about before with the grid heater cycling. I should be going back and forth from 14 kind of back down to 12, but for once ended up being an easy something to do. Like I said, nothing's ever that easy for me, so I was really surprised that that was the problem. So we'll let it run a little bit, make sure that took care of the problem, but like I said, easy fix for once. Alright, so that's about it for this video, guys. Like I said, if you guys have a Cummins and you run into this issue, definitely go ahead and clean the crossover cable first. I read on the forums that people are like, oh, I'm replacing batteries and alternators, and that's exactly what my buddy did. He put a brand new alternator in this thing and 2 new batteries. When it ended up just being the crossover cable, like I said, save yourself a ton of time and money. All I used was this little Dremel right here. Kind of just with a little wire brush bit on there, cleaned everything up and got all my issues sorted away. So, like I said, definitely gotta get 2 new negative posts or cables on there. I'm gonna order the military style clamps and get everything else cleaned up in the system because it is kind of corroded and that's gonna lead to future issues. So kind of just starting with the basic stuff for now just to get the truck running so I can drive it. So if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like this video and it saved you some money and you found it informational, be sure to leave it a big thumbs up. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy.